Another one that you spoke about is over the long term, the future is decided by the optimists. So I think the opposite of those who look at the world as an us versus them and externalize any of their problems are those who look at the world in a positive lens. So how do you train yourself to become an optimist? Because a lot of people, and I mean, including myself, we've grown up in a, well, let me think of the word that I'm looking for here, in a scarcity mentality based on childhood experiences. And then it's very hard to flip that. As much as the external world can give you successes and opportunities, deep down inside, there is a gnawing feeling that it's all going to go away and everything is going to be destroyed. So from your experience and the people you've seen maybe train this, how do you?
So, I mean, I think for me, one of the central pillars is acknowledging the reality of progress as a historical reality, a historical fact. So the more history that I read, the more optimistic I become. If you're really reading it and looking at the evidence, then progress was real, and then the ingredients of progress are still with us, so we're probably still on the same path. And that makes it a little easier to be optimistic. Learning about how incredibly terrible the past is. Oh my gosh. The Obama question of, a paradox of like if you're sent back in time and you have no control over where, how old, what status, what gender, what race, what level you are, how handicapped you are, and where do you want to be born? You don't want to be born in the past at all. It would be horrible for the random person. And so, so that is one. History is one. The second one is a long-term view, even of the future. The longer your horizon, the easier it is to be optimistic. And so you want to take a long view and realize that most recessions, most depressions, most wars are all temporary. And in the long term, they can hardly even show up as blips. And so 1 or 2% good compounded over centuries is incredibly powerful. So the power of compounding, where you compound a little good over time, is really forceful, and that compounding is on the side of optimism.
Yeah.
That is, so they'll raise your horizons to become more optimistic.
I think people really want everything now, though. That's the challenge. So if I were to summarize, think long term, slow down, and be willing to make small
Slowing down, but think long term, both into the future and the past.
Okay.
People talk about how terrible the U.S. politics are. Yes, but compared to what? Compared to the politics of 2 centuries ago or a century and a half? I mean, we had a U.S. vice president murder another. I mean, it was like there was crazy stuff happening. There was, I mean, really, there are plenty of really horrible things that have happened in the past, and you just need to keep those in mind right now. Read the history. I mean, it's like just in the U.S. history alone, it's like the U.S. Constitution almost didn't pass because there were all these anti-Constitution movements. We think of this Constitution as sort of a shining example, but But no, this was incredibly controversial. There was just, it barely passed. And that's not even, there's no violence. I'm just saying that this was the things that we assume to be present always are not. They're recent things, and the bad stuff, the corruptions have been present all along, and we're kind of often blind to them. And so the more you read history, I think the more clear you become about the progress we've actually made.
Yeah, yeah. So would you say that today would be the best day to be born?
Yes.
Today's
Well,
the best day to be born.
Well, tomorrow's even better.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So the way I would say, like, not only is it the best time to be born, but today is the best time in the history of the world ever to make something.
Yeah.
If you want to make something or make something happen, the tools have never been cheaper, more accessible, more democratized than today. Mm-hmm. And if we look to the future, what we realize is that today there are no experts in AI. There are no experts in solar, whatever it is, compared to there will be in 30 years. So compared to the future, this is also the best time because this is the early into it. We're still at day one of AI. We're still at day one of, spatial intelligence. We're still day one in all these things, genetic engineering. And so it's much better to be here at day one compared to be in 30 years. So compared to the past, this is the best day ever to start. Compared to the future, this is the best day ever to start. So this day, today, is the best day in the history of the world, and it's time to do something.